Hey, this is Leela James, and you're hanging out with grownfolksmusic.com.
grownfolksmusic.com.
Leela James, welcome back to grownfolksmusic.com.
Thank you.
This week is a big and exciting week for you.
Absolutely.
You have a new album dropping the end of the week on the 30th.
Yeah.
First of all, congratulations on on the first single, Complicated. How
Thank you.
well it is done at radio and the millions literally of views that you've gotten on the video. Talk about that. Were you surprised at all or overwhelmed at the response to that song?
I was. I am all of the above. Absolutely. But it's definitely a great feeling. When you work so hard and you try to make music that you enjoy, but you also want the people to enjoy. So when it's received, it makes it all the better.
I'd like to talk about the singles that you've put out, if we can. I'd like to talk about You're the One, which is the current single, correct?
Yes.
Tell us about that song.
Oh, that song came about right towards the end of recording the project. I wanted to do something up tempo, also something that kind of made me feel like, when I was a kid and I heard like in the 80s, the SOS bands and, I just wanted a record that made me want to skate and dance and move around and just something to feel good. But I also wanted the subject matter to kind of match the energy. Mm. And typically, just making a record that I felt like we needed at the time where people could feel like they want to be in love again. and be able to say like, golly, this is like, you're the one. Like, I didn't even think it was possible to be able to feel this way and to actually be able to sing about it. So I wanted a record that could kind of give off those emotions. I remember going to the roller rink. I remember, being able to double dutch outside and, play with my friends. And, when Evelyn Champagne King came on and all of those good, feel good up-tempo records. So I wanted to do something and capture that same kind of energy and vibe, but today.
You're talking your talk on Put It On Me.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us about that one.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. I talk my ish. I tend to be pretty quiet, you know what I mean? But I wasn't feeling too quiet in that song. And my producer Rex Ryder, he was like, talk your ish, because I'm usually I try to take the high road in situations and, but I just felt like I needed to say some stuff because stuff was, necessary to be said, but in a way that was colorful, as if you will, and musical. And it's always that one maybe where they feel like they got to make the other person be the bad guy because they were actually the bad guy. But, the reality of it is, my thing is, when God knows what happened, you know what happened, and you know what you did, I know what you did. Who cares if you got to make yourself feel better about it all by lying and telling this and telling that? So I was like, put it all on me. As long as I can get your narcissistic behind out my life, I'm good. Like, put it all on me. Right. My everything, because you already know what it is, and karma got you anyway. So yeah, that's where that came from.
I love it. Thank you for mentioning Rex Rideout. I was going to ask you, you've worked with him in the past and you're working again with him on this project. Talk about the synergy and the chemistry you have that makes working with him so great.
Yes, this is our third project together, and I've worked with him tirelessly for the last several years. And, we just have a formula, and I think it makes it easy. He gets me as an artist, and he has never tried to change me. It's actually, he's able to pull out, things that I felt like in me as an artist, I didn't always know that I had either. So I think that's what makes it great. And I think we just have a great working thing. We get in and we bang out records. Like, easily. It's weird. And that's just something that you can't get with everybody.
I asked about a couple of the other singles, but I really want to ask about the title track, See Me. That is
Yeah.
hauntingly beautiful. The
Thank
lyrics and your delivery of it. Who wrote that? Who produced that? Where did See Me come from?
I wrote that. Rex produced it. It came from, it was the last song we actually recorded for the project. I wrote it actually in the form of I was kind of thinking as if I had to write a letter to the industry. And
Mm.
I was referring to the fact that I felt like I've been around for a long time and not being seen. So it was kind of saying, hey, I'm over here, and I know that I speak for a lot of artists that may have feel that way, you know, that's been in the game and, you know, feel like they go unheard, unseen. Also, I was in my feelings about, you know, what's happening, the sign of times, as a woman, as a black woman, as a black person, and feeling like, you know, we're not being treated like we're human beings. Like, you don't see us. You didn't see someone saying, hey, I can't breathe. Like, you didn't see him. You didn't hear that. Like, we're human, you know. Can you see me? Like, you need to see me. I'm a person too. I got feelings too. I'm an artist. I'm out here doing it just like the next person, but you treating me as if I'm not. And I know I'm just as worthy. I know I'm just as good, if not better. And you're not acting like I'm here. And I'm like, you gonna see me.
There are 11 tracks. So we talked about four of them. What is the flavor or the musical journey of the other seven on the album?
It's a whole it's a very vulnerable, very raw. I could have went with a title called "In My Feelings," you know what I mean? We chose to go with "See Me," but I would say um, throughout the pandemic, you know, I had time to sit down, and I wasn't feeling, if you will, very creative during that time because I was distracted by everything that's happening around us all. And while that distraction was there, it didn't suppress, you know, what was the feelings. And when I did finally get back into the studio to start recording, a lot of what I had been feeling came out. So it's a combination of, you know, some personal things that I was dealing with at the time, as well as, you know, my feelings about what was happening around me and around all of us. So it's a journey. It's a journey into um, the deep feelings of what I was going through and what I felt like we were all dealing with. But it's a ride, it's a journey, and I purposely didn't put any interludes or anything like that because I didn't want it to be about nothing but the music and whatever it is I say. So I was just like, I'm gonna do these songs, and we're gonna put these songs out and give it to the people. And some of them gonna make you feel and think about this. Some of them gonna make you feel and think about that. And that's just what it was. It's just the music. It was just, here's some music.
Were you satisfied with your unsung episode?
I was absolutely. Did you see it?
I did. I saw part of it. I did. I wasn't able to finish all of it before the interview, but I did see part of it. And what I liked about it is at first I thought, gosh, she's kind of young for an unsung, but I just kind of love how you got to tell your story because even though you are younger, you've been, like you said, you've been in this industry for a long time and you've been doing this thing for a long time. So I'm glad you got to speak about yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, I was pleased with it. They were able to tell a portion of my.
I read that James Brown dubbed you the goddaughter of soul. Is that true? And please tell us that story.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah. Well, I had the privilege of being on the road with him before he passed away overseas, and it was a wonderful experience to even just witness someone at that time of his age still able to, you know, command the crowd and pull people in. And just he was just electrifying. And I had the opportunity after one show to actually speak and say, and just be like, like you were awesome. And he, told me that he enjoyed my performance in my set, and he's like, you got it. And I was so young. I'm like, yeah, okay. And he's like, no, you got the thing. You get it. I was always told I had an old soul, but just to hear, the greats acknowledge you in that way, that's always a compliment. And so, yeah, he was like, you like the goddaughter soul. That's the goddaughter soul. And so I was like, all right, okay, if you say so, there we go.
You need to put that on a t-shirt.
Yes, indeed.
I love it. My last question for you is, what is your definition of grown folks music?
Oh my, you know what? I follow you and I'm always putting flames. I don't know if you know this because you'll post certain things and I'm just like, what she know about? She know about that good stuff. Grown folks music to me is that stick to your rib, good old soul music that is timeless. And it's full of emotion. And I enjoy, for me, that's it. It's reminiscent of probably what some of us was raised on. And that's not to take anything away from, others, but it's just something about that raw, true, good, back singing down home,
Mm-hmm. Collard greens.
Collard greens, back poached soul. That's what I call it. But yes, it's just, I love real, and when you say this, people are like, well, this music isn't real. I'm not saying it's not real, but what I am saying is that there's certain music that stands out from certain eras that you just can't deny, that makes it timeless. And certain, which is how we're able to still enjoy and listen to some music that was maybe made 30, 40 years ago today, and like feel it as if it was still 30, 40 years ago.
Thank you so much for the compliment of our Instagram. I can't take the credit. There is four of us. There are four of us, and I'm not the one who principally puts the stuff on IG. Even sometimes I'm surprised. I'm amazed. I'm putting up the fire emoji like, whoa, I forget about stuff. And even my own teammates teach me. So I love it. I can't even take the credit for it.
Whether it's you or the other three, whomever, salute to grown folks, and I commend you all for carrying the torch of maintaining the information of what good music is and keeping it out there so that it doesn't just fade away. So I appreciate it, and I will continue to support and flame y'all all day, whether you y'all gonna Pinocchio post it, I'm gonna.
Thank you so much. This is the part of the interview when you get to shout it out. And what that means, Leela James, is that you get to tell us all things, Leela James, where you're going to be, because I know you have some appearances coming up this year, when the album drops, where we can get it, where we can stream it, download it, buy it, things of that nature. Any other dates or appearances that you have, television, anything like that. And also your website, if you have one, and your social media handles.
Okay, well, it's a lot, but I will say my website is www.leelajames.com. My social, I'm on Instagram. That's Leela James Official. I still have a Facebook page, and that's Facebook Musician. Twitter is Leela James Official. Yeah, I do have a TikTok. I'm not on there often, but I have a TikTok. And the schedule for my events, dates, shows, all of the above will appear on my website. So you just gotta check that, and also just keep following me on Instagram and on my socials for my show dates. I have a lot of stuff coming up, definitely. Album, most importantly, dropping this Friday, 7:30. See me, it's coming out. Definitely support.
Leela James, thank you so much for your time. Please come back again.
Thank you for having me.
GrownFolksMusic.com